Hi.
Hello,
Hi, good day. Blue economy, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm also very well, thank you.
Yeah, we are waiting for the others to. Okay, yeah. Gabriel is also here.
Okay.
I think we are missing two more, and then we can start.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
I've
Brian,
already,
yeah.
I've already promoted you to a panelist, so you can control whatever you present. I
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So I can share and then okay. Let me just try and see whether it will work. Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
I can see your presentation.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can just do this and then okay. Okay. So that's fine. Let me stop sharing. So it works. Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see your presentation. So that is perfect. I think uh, Gabriel is here, right? Hello. Hello. Do you hear us? All right. Yeah. So sorry, I just also promoted you to be a panelist, so you can join us. All right. So yeah, now you can hear us. Please kindly uh, say something.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
All right. Great.
And
Yeah, I can hear you.
could you please also enable the video for the panelists? So, um,
Yeah. You have to. Okay. Sure. You can do now.
Yes, yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
maybe I think Eunice,
Okay, yes,
yeah, I think your
yes,
video is perfect. I think
yes,
we
I
wanted
can,
to
I
test
can.
that as well, so that just
Yes,
we are showing the
Yeah.
background and all that. Um,
yes.
you can check if Brian, Mariam, and the rest are already in, and then you can also promote them because I realize when we join, then we join as viewers or participants.
Yeah. I think we are still waiting for the two of them, and then we can be ready.
So I, in the suggestion, I added a few suggestions about two questions which I would request if you could ask the.
The questions.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, we usually have three questions for them to just to get to know where they are joining from, if they are ECOPs, and then which industry, like which area of work, like what do they do, whether they are students or they work in the NGO space or stuff like that. So those are the three questions just to get to know them. But if you have any other questions, I already saw your suggestions also, like the questions, two questions you sent,
yeah, yeah.
and I already also made them as a poll. So I'll be launching that as well for them to respond to.
Brian is already in, I think, as an attendee, if you could promote him. So, and Mariam, we should also check out for Mariam.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I think Brian is now part of us. So,
Yeah, sorry, it's a bit confusing because I guess you have a link for panelists and for everyone else.
oh no, it's the same. All right. So, welcome.
Oh, it's the same link. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll text Mariam then and see if she's ready to join.
Hi, Brian. Welcome.
Hi, Eunice. Thank you.
Um, Brian, so we also want to make sure that your presentation works.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if you can
Share my screen.
display the slides. Yeah.
Did you do that for Eunice too?
Yeah, we did. And it works well.
Okay. Let's see here. Share. It's good.
Yeah. Yes. Um, yeah. So works well.
And yeah, I apologize to Gabriel and others that I think Gabriel, your ideas were good, but I just didn't have time to react, when I got an email just a day or two ago. But I think I can just kind of go through my slides in 25 minutes and then let Eunice and Mariam talk. Instead of splitting my slides up, that would be complicated because they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I see your email, and I think that is okay. So
Because you
when
just
I
want me to
introduce,
make sure that I'm at 25 minutes, so I'll time myself in.
yeah, that's okay.
I'll skip some slides if I have to keep to time.
But then, yeah, you still go fast.
Um, oh, right. Sorry, I have to call Mariam. Yeah. Oh, I'm texting Mariam now. Okay, she says she's joining.
So I would just quickly introduce, we do the usual ECOP introduction, and then I'll launch the polls for us to get to know a bit about our participants, where they are from, where they are joining from, and what they do. And then I will hand over to the moderator.
Sounds good.
Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us. So I think she just joined now. And so,
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe you want to test her sharing?
Do you hear us, please?
Oh, me? Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great.
Oh,
So
I just,
you
okay.
want to
Go ahead.
test your video and your presentation to see if it all works.
Okay, I won't be able in, like, give me like 10 minutes. I'm setting up and I'll be able to share. I'm on the road actually. Let me open the computer to share.
Think, uh, yeah, we have to.
I think good day, you can just proceed, and we hope that it's going to work for Mariam.
Yeah, we can just wait for a minute as people now join it. Yeah. I think we can still use this time to see if your presentation works, Mariam. Do you want to give it another try, please?
Mm.
Not sure if it's please, are
Just a
you
minute.
trying?
Yeah, I'm trying to share. Just a minute. Are you able to see my presentation?
Yes, we can see now.
Oh, okay. So should I stop sharing?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we can start. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on wherever you are joining us from. I hope you can hear me, and I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Gode. I'm a member of the ECOP training and mentoring tax team. So with the ECOP program, I'm pretty sure a number of you might already be aware, but it is the Early Career Ocean Professionals Program. So this is a UN Ocean Decade endorsed program that is focused on building capacity among the youth and early career professionals in the ocean and related environmental spaces. And with the mentoring and training tax team, we host the webinars and the mentorship programs. As I mentioned earlier, I'm Gode. I am the CEO and the co-founder of Blue Economy Connect, a youth-led initiative that is empowering youth leadership, opportunities, and innovation in the blue economy space. And I have been with the ECOP program, training and mentoring task team for 3 years now. Thank you again for joining. And oh, by the way, since you are going to tell us where you are joining from, I am joining currently from Accra, Ghana. Thank you very much. So today we have the webinar episode 37, actually. So, and this episode is going to be about coercing. So that is the Coastal Ocean Environment Summer School program that has been held in the past 10 years, either in Ghana or Nigeria. And I happen to be part of the last one, though not officially invited, but I chanced on the opportunity at the University of Ghana. And I had a really nice time there with my team from Blue Economy Connect. So I attended for 2 days. you can imagine, I went for day one, and then I enjoyed it so much that I went for the second day. So I would, from this point, hand it over to the moderator of the program. Gabriel, please take over.
Thank you very much. Good day for that introduction and for the highlight about the program. I'm wondering, do you want to run the survey?
Yes. So
okay.
You can proceed whilst I run the survey for them to respond to. So we have just 3 questions for you to respond to understand where you are, to see where you are joining us from, if you are an ECOP and your field of work. So please respond to the polls if you can see the polls on your screen. So far, West Africa, there's Asia, amazing. North America, really cool. There is other, oh, okay. I'm pretty sure that might be from whether South or North Africa, or yeah, perhaps, I think so. Please feel free to write your name and where you are joining from, the country specifically, in the chat. Introduce yourself. I mean, if you do anything related to the ocean, feel free to share the link or even your LinkedIn for us to connect. So we have most joining from West Africa. There's East Africa, North America, Asia, and of course, most ECOPs. Really nice. So we have a lot more people in less than 10 years of their career. Majority are coming from the academic space. Most are students. There are NGOs and someone from the government. Really cool to see.
Maybe we can share the results.
I think there are some people still responding. Please kindly respond in the next 30 seconds. I will share the results. Nice to meet you, Patrick from Ghana. I will definitely connect. All right, so I will share the results now. You can continue to introduce yourself in the chat. All right, so I hope you can see the result. Nice to meet you, Joy from Nigeria. Good to know that you were part of the COESSING in 2024. There's Kashian from Tanzania. Nice to meet you, Miranda. All right, so I'll stop sharing the results and hand over to Gabriel to start the moderation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good day for the poll and yeah, for the introduction. We are happy to see that we are having participants from different parts of the globe, majorly from Africa, but beyond as well. Yeah, we are in the decade of ocean science, and as we carry on with different conservation, scientific, and other aspects of ocean conservation, one of the aspects in Challenge 9 actually enhances on skills, knowledge, technology, and participation for all. And uh, it we are looking forward to ensuring comprehensive capacity development and equitable access to data, information, knowledge, and technology across all aspects of the ocean and for all stakeholders. So one of the aspects to address this challenge has been the summer schools that have been going. Of course, these started even before the decade, but we are amplifying these in different regions to be able to ensure that we enhance capacity. So today, the topic, we are talking about building a global science community through summer schools in West Africa, East Africa, and beyond. And with us today in the panel, we have got three experts whom I'm going to introduce, and they'll give you presentations shortly. One, we have got Professor Brian Arbic. He's a professor in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences. He's a physical oceanographer whose research focuses on numerical modeling of tides, mesoscale eddies, and other motions in the ocean. He is also the founder of West Africa COESSING and East Africa COISWIO schools that will be discussed in this seminar. And I'll just proceed to introduce the second expert as well in the panel is Dr. Eunice Konadu Asamoah, who is a senior lecturer in the Department of Marine and Fisheries Sciences at the University of Ghana. She's a fisheries scientist whose research focuses on post-harvest fisheries management, particularly seafood quality and food safety. She also serves as a member of the local organizing committee for COESSING in Ghana. And our third speaker will be Dr. Mariam Makusale, who is a marine and environmental chemist at the Technical University of Mombasa, Kenya. She works in the Office of Partnerships, Research, and Innovation as Assistant Registrar for Research and Grants, and was part of the co-organizing committee for the COISWIO that took place in Mombasa in 2025. So they'll give us insights. And to begin with, we'll have Brian, who will give us a presentation on a brief history of the summer schools and the link to the ocean decade, and also the future of this. And then our other two speakers will dive deeper to give more insights onto COESSING and COESWIO. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks. So I should start now?
Yes.
All right, great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate this opportunity greatly. So yeah, we're going to talk about our attempts to help build a global ocean science community through summer schools in West Africa, East Africa, and beyond. I'll just quickly say our East African colleagues actually suggested not using the word summer school because it has kind of a hemispheric bias. So we're used to calling them that, but maybe we should just call them schools. Yeah, I'm a professor at University of Michigan. I'm in Michigan right now. It's in the middle of the US and on the Canadian border. I'll talk about the origins of this, and then Eunice and Mariam are key partners in our schools in West Africa and East Africa, and you'll hear from them too. So really quickly, some history, how I personally got here and how our group got here. Group is an interesting word here. The schools have probably involved more than 1,000 people, so it's a pretty big group. Instructors, participants, volunteers, organizers, and so forth. So some of you may know that the United States has an organization called the Peace Corps. It was founded by President Kennedy in the 1960s, and it sends American overseas. So after completing my bachelor's degree, which was at the University of Michigan, so I went as a student to the same place where I'm now a professor. Anyway, when I finished my bachelor's a long time ago, before most of you were born probably, I joined the Peace Corps. And I was sent to teach secondary school math and physics in northern Ghana, not on the ocean, far up for those of you from Ghana, in Damago, a long ways from the ocean, far up in northern Ghana. And I taught physics and math there at a secondary level. And here are some of the students that I taught, some of the students I knew quite well. These are the students that focused on science during their year, which is their last year, which is called Form 5. That's kind of a terminology from the old British style of educating. And you'll notice that all men in the science class. I have visited that school a few times since, so you'd be happy to know that's changed. Now the number of science students who are girls pretty much the same as boys, but back then the science students were all boys. Anyway, so I got to know this group of students and a few other groups of students from different years very, very well. And here are some of the students that I'm still in contact with today: Joseph Ansong, Adamutu Akilu, and others. But that coming into contact with them took time because back in the 1990s, there were no smartphones and it was much harder to keep in touch with people. So as I kind of left Peace Corps and, did all the things that scientists usually do, I went back to the US, well, American scientists. I went back to the US and I got a PhD and I did a postdoc and I started building my scientific career. And in the meantime, I lost touch with all of these people. I lost touch with all of the people that were my students and my fellow teachers, and my friends, lost touch with all of them again because these things didn't exist back then. So it was a lot harder. But anyway, I gave talks on my Peace Corps experience, and I had this vague idea that I wanted to help create a sort of Peace Corps for science, a platform for building a truly global science community if I was ever in a position to do that. Okay, and then 16 years after I left Ghana, some of the people in that picture that I showed found me on the internet because by then there was an internet and websites and stuff, and they found me and said, "Oh, how are you doing? This is how I'm doing." And I found out that one of the people in that picture, Joseph Ansong, was getting a PhD in Canada in a field closely related to mine, and he was even working with someone that I know very well. So just understand, after 16 years of zero contact, suddenly I find out that one of those students is in my field. So these are emails that were exchanged between me and Joseph. Sorry, they're kind of small, but these are the first time I had talked to him in 16 years. Then I invited him to Michigan for a visit, and then I hired him into my lab. My partner Jennifer actually gets some credit for that. She suggested, why don't you hire him as a postdoc, which I might have done anyway, but definitely she nudged me in that direction. So I hired him into my lab as a postdoc, and Michigan University, my University of Michigan, did this story, these guys that were separated and then they got back together and now they're working together. And he was in my lab for 6 years. So here's a picture of Joseph with the other people in my research group. But of course, eventually you want to get a more permanent position. And so he decided in 2017 to go back to Ghana. So he went back to Ghana as a faculty member. But in the meantime, we had started this school. Okay, so here's a few pictures from the school. The first school in 2015 was pretty small compared to what we do now. So it wasn't that small. It was bigger than I at first pictured, but it was smaller than anything we've done since. So we only had 4 instructors, and all we did was lectures. When you first start something, you just keep things simple. We just did lectures. And it was held at a place called Regional Maritime University, which trains people for careers in ships, ports, and things like that. Then from 2016 to 2019, we alternated the school between that place, Regional Maritime University, and University of Ghana. And there's a whole long story about why we did that I don't have time to get into. But anyway, we alternated back and forth. And thanks to a couple happy circumstances, we started raising more money and we were able to make the school bigger. I credit my colleague Adam Simon greatly for that insight about how to raise more money. And then we had about 100 African participants per year from Ghana and other West African countries. And for those who know West Africa, you'll probably understand this. Um, as soon as Nigerians found out about this school, their numbers started growing rapidly. And the reason is very simple. Nigeria has more people than any other country in Africa. So if they get excited about something, you're going to see them. So pretty soon we started getting many participants from Nigeria, even when we were running schools in Ghana, as well as some of the other West African countries. We had about 15 US and European participants per year. Some of those US and European participants had never been to Africa. And so the school serves many purposes, helping to build ocean science in the global south, connecting people from around the world. But another purpose that it serves is just bringing people from the US and Europe and other places in the global north to the global south to see the tremendous challenges, but also opportunities that are present there. Um, in these 4 years, we started doing more things. You have more people. It's like, oh, lectures, don't just do lectures. Let's have field trips to the beach. Let's go out on boats and drop things in the water to take measurements. Let's do things in the lab. In fact, I could be wrong, but I think this person is actually online. I think this is Success, and I saw that she was here, I think. Um, anyway, we also did research projects, um, and people presented them. Okay, then COVID hit, and I have to credit my younger co-organizers. I was ready to just give up. Okay, we won't have schools for a couple years until this is over. And they said, no, 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 let's do virtual schools. So we did. And that allowed broader participation from East Africa and even Malaysia and India. I thank them for prodding me to do that. But then we started coming out of COVID, and this person, Lila Gifty Akita, said, let's go back to in person. Because at that point in 2022, I was thinking, okay, we're used to online, let's do online again. It's still a little unsafe to travel. No, 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 let's do it in person. So we did. And she actually also pushed us to go to Nigeria again because we had so many Nigerian participants. So when we came back in person, we actually went to Nigeria. So for me and others, this was really a big test. We had never done a summer school outside of Ghana, and Nigeria is Africa's most populous country. So it's a big, you know, dream to go there. So we did, and we co-hosted it at the University of Lagos and also the Nigerian Institute for Oceanography and Marine Research, NEOMAR. And so I would say it was a pretty big success to have this school for the first time in Nigeria. Then in 2023, we went back to Ghana. So that was the first in-person school that we had in Ghana since 2019. A couple highlights here. So this logo was introduced by Lydia Bosetti, and Lydia is right here. There's a picture of her amongst all the others. And she's really good at graphics, and she's also studies fisheries. And then we had these field trips. You can see people working in the field. And we started emphasizing hands-on research projects in 4 areas: fisheries, marine plastics, biogeochemistry, and physical oceanography. I saw earlier, by the way, that one of the participants also was Richmond Kennedy Kwarku. Just want to briefly mention that he has been in every single school that we've held in Ghana and also in Kenya, and he's very passionate about combating marine plastics in the ocean. So I think I saw him online, and he helps lead our plastics efforts. Okay, so 2024, we went back to Nigeria and we had a third hosting institution, Yaba Tech, to join the two that I mentioned before. Here's some pictures from that year. We continued to have an emphasis on hands-on research projects in those subject areas, and we had a new sub-project called Omics. Here's some people there. The person's name is Katie Roshan. I don't remember everyone's name, unfortunately, but anyway, they're working with a machine that does omics, that's high level genomics research. And we also had some people analyzing sediment cores. Um, so including one person, Ingrid Hendy, who's from my own university. And as you can see, many others here. Okay, 2025. This is the last time we went. This was at University of Ghana. It was our 10th anniversary. A few of the people on this call, Eunice and Richmond and others, were at that place. Oh, sorry, I keep making that mistake, but we uh, we have the continued emphasis on research projects, but now this is kind of a long story. I'll try to make it really short, but the summer school for 2025 through 2028 is funded by Schmidt Sciences. And they are actually funding a large research project in West Africa, bringing a lot of resources there. And the summer school is a critical meeting point for that research project. And so it's kind of embedded within the research project. But you see here that these people are actually out on a Ghana Navy boat. So we have enough money now with the research, not the school, but with the research to go out and do things like go on a Navy boat. And we still run the school on a fairly small budget, but there's a large budget to do research. So the school, with the school, the connections we had built, we were able to then help build a large research project, which is benefiting the region in a lot of ways. There's training of grad students and laboratory equipment. We're taking measurements in the ocean that haven't been able to be done before and things like that. One thing that was kind of fun is that for the 10th anniversary, they brought, this is actually Eunice's idea, who's speaking after me. They brought back some of the people that I had taught in the 1990s. So some of these people were in that picture that I showed earlier. Some of them were students in other, not science classes. And people were impressed that these guys came, 30 years later to acknowledge that, we had all met 30 years before and we're still in touch. Okay, so this coming year, we're going to do a school in Calabar, Nigeria, which is the Niger Delta region. So a few statistics, about 1,000 in-person participant attendees. Some of these, like if the same person comes more than once, we count that person multiple times, but sorry. And we've had about 250 in-person instructors, many virtual participant instructors. We have an email list with more than 1,700 people. So that's a very valuable tool to get out information about opportunities. When people email me and say, oh, here's a scholarship, please tell people about it, I'll send it out. There's WhatsApp groups that are set up by the participants that are still highly active. A little bit about funding. So from 2015 to 2024, it was funded by a couple of organizations in the US. These are US government funding agencies. This is my own university. One year we got some funding from this place, ICTP, which is in Italy, and huge amounts of in-kind support from our hosting institutions. They let us use their rooms and stuff like that. As I already mentioned, from 25 to 2028, our funding is different. It's from a foundation, and these people here are leading a big research project, and our school is part of that. And so it's really neat to see real money for oceanography in West Africa, ship time, equipment, training of students, and things like that. Quickly too, because ECOP is a UN decade organization, I'll just mention that our summer school is endorsed as a project of the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. Okay, so briefly, a little bit about East Africa. So since we had gone to Nigeria, we were gaining confidence, that, well, it's not just Ghana. We can do this in Nigeria. We can do this in other places. So let's try East Africa. So the first time we did that was just last year, just 4 months ago or something, 5 months, in Mombasa, Kenya. And Mariam will tell us more about that. but I will just mention, say a few things. That here's a picture from our opening ceremony, and here's some pictures of activities. Just as in West Africa, we stress hands-on research in the field, people working on projects that could involve computers and also could involve going to the field to take measurements. And we had project tracks in 5 areas: physical, chemical, oceanography, physical processes of change such as beach erosion, ecological survey techniques, fisheries and marine plastics, and pollution. And we had presentations given by members of the project tracks on the final day. Okay. So we have funding for 1 more year in East Africa, and this coming year we're going to go to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. But we're already thinking about trying to get more funding to keep this going for a while. One other thing is that there's a person named Babette Chanong who has helped with our school, and she wanted to do something in the French-speaking countries in Africa. So, as many of you know, this is a big issue in Africa, that there are a lot of countries where they speak French, and so some of them have come to our school, but the language is a barrier. So, having schools in French-speaking countries where everything is in French makes it easier for them to participate. So she and many other people founded a school aimed at that. And they had the first one in 2025. And she does credit us with helping to inspire her to do that. So I'm really proud of that we helped inspire someone do something similar in the Francophone countries. So last year there were 3 summer schools in Africa: Cameroon and Kenya and Ghana. And this coming year, the Cameroon school, the French one, will move to Benin. The West African one will be in Nigeria, and the East African one will be in Tanzania. And I also just found out a few days ago that the final decision was made. We're also going to do one in Fiji. So Fiji is, of course, in the Pacific Islands, not Africa, but it's the same kind of idea. And the year after that, we will also likely do one in Indonesia. So we're really starting to grow these schools. Pacific Islands and in Indonesia is very likely coming. And so far we focused on Africa, but that's changing. So I think here I just want to thank the hosting institutions. There are many in West Africa and East Africa, the financial sponsors, and like I said, the more than 1,000 people, instructors and organizers and participants and media people and so many others that have helped. So I think I will stop there and turn over to my colleagues.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brian, for that insightful presentation on the overall history and how the events have been in the last years. I think it's interesting to see that we started from West Africa and now the COESSING has really picked up well. I'll just pass it to Eunice to give us more insights in the COESSING program. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. I hope you can hear me. Okay, good. So my name is Eunice Asamoah from the University of Ghana, and I want to thank ECOP and then Brian and the COESSING team for this opportunity. It's always a very tough job to speak after Brian because he says most of the things you want to say. So I'll try and say the things he didn't say to add up to what he said. So this is from the original COESSING, which is the West African one. So perspective from us on the program. So as has been said, so far it's been between the University of Ghana in recent years, between University of Ghana and the University of Lagos. So it's rotational. So every other year in the other institution. And last year, we were privileged to host the 10th anniversary. It was really something we were looking forward to because we started it, and so we should enjoy the 10th anniversary. So if you see us here, we have a growing number of instructors in the colorful shirts that I'm wearing now today. And then we have the participants in the white, and then we have some invited guests. So here is Prof. Nyako. He was at the first cohesion. He was then the Vice Chancellor of RMU, Regional Maritime University. So the first cohesion that went there, he was a part of it. So 10th anniversary was a homecoming for a lot of people just to come and see how far we have gone. For me, I'm a fishery scientist, as has been said, and 2015, I knew of COESSING because I was in the department, and Brian came with one of my colleagues, Eben, and so I heard about it, but then it sounded more marine because coastal environment. And so I thought, oh, fishery science is not really captured. And since then, there had been lectures on fishery science, but I still was like, okay, it's a marine program. But then in 2021, COVID, I joined online. And then I saw that it was not just a marine thing, it's just encompassing, it's the whole coastal area, the whole coastal environment. And so I joined as a panelist on the Women in STEM. And then I started joining the online and the in-person. So from 2022 to 2025, I'm part of the in-person attendees. And I'm also part of the local organizing committee. And I lead the fisheries team also. So this is a group of the local organizers. So we have those who started it. So Joseph is here with us and he's part of the organizers. There's Angela, Andy, and myself. Richmond is also part, Lila, and then Adam. And we have a wide array of instructors. And some of these instructors we have known and they keep coming. So, and they span different geographical regions. So we have the fisheries group, we have the physical oceanography, biochemistry, and then biogeochemistry, and then the plastics. And so we have Nigerians, we have two persons from Greece, we have from the United States. And so cohesion is not just about us in West Africa, it goes way beyond that. And it's all thanks to these wonderful instructors and the participants that we get. So for us, it's not a Western thing that came, it's an African initiative. If you listen to Brian, and I think because today he was in a hurry, he did not tell you that he was born in Nigeria and all that. Or if he told you, then at least I'm adding on to it. So Brian is technically African and West African. So this is something that has come home. And there was a need for a program like this because we have a very rich coast, we have thriving fisheries, we have a lot of port activities, we have burden oil and gas industry, but then there are challenges with erosion, illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing, pollution, and then climate change impact. And all of these call for learning and then understanding these things. And usually there's a bit of a skills gap. So we read and we see things, but this was bringing those things. Brian was telling you about some of the analysis that has been done, cutting edge science, readings that we have gotten from partnering and then enjoying cohesion all these years. So now it's not just abstract where we meet and then we have lectures and we go home. Now it's science in action. And it's very relevant to us. So there's a lot of local content in there. So if it's in Ghana, you'd see Ghana leading with the organizing. If it's in Nigeria, the Nigerian LOC also organize it. But then again, we invite each other for meetings so that we can learn from each other. So it's growing, and I'm happy that now we've gone to the Kenya, and we are planning to go outside of even Africa. That is the impact that cohesion brings. When it comes to the benefit, I've already said some, but there's capacity building for us. And these pictures show you. So the first picture, I see Patrick hiding behind there. So in Ghana, this is from the fisheries group. We have issues of smoke, fish processing, and you can see the dense smoke there. So for last year, one of the things was to measure the smoke density. And so we had Catherine coming in from the US with some equipment, teaching us how to use the equipment and actually giving us two of these equipments to go out and then monitor for ourselves. And so this is the kind of benefits that you get from joining it's a family. COESSING is not just anything, it's a family. So once you join us, you are empowered to lead. And then we have the fiscal oceanography. Last year, they went out with weather balloons to look at weather patterns. The OMI group went to see, this is biogeochemistry doing their own thing. And another thing is that we have the Women in STEAM panel where all ladies, and we have some gentlemen who sneak in to share because the challenges that women face is not just in West Africa, it's everywhere. So we meet to discuss and share and then to encourage each other so that we can move on. So that goes with networking. So we network, we don't just stop there, we just go on and then empower each other. And for COESSING, there's equal participation. So as part of the local organizers, we do the admissions. Last year, we had over 500 applications and we had to pick 100. And so we do a gendered kind of admission. So we try to make it gender balanced. And then we try so each country that comes, we will just pick so that, again, it covers the West African region. And all of this goes to empower. So now if I go to Nigeria, who are co-organizers, I know a lot of the things that they are doing when they come to Ghana, and we try to follow up on what each other is doing, just so that we are all in the same space. But Brian talked about funding and also so the challenges, but these challenges are just opportunities that are waiting to happen. So with sustainability, Brian was talking about funding, and now with OMI, there's funding, but then we are still looking for more so we can do more. One of the things that participants, when you do a survey, one of the things that they'll tell you is that 1 week is not enough. And Dr. Eunice, 1 week is not enough. We don't get enough time. But for now, that is what we can do. So hopefully one day we'll get enough funds and then we'll see if we can extend. Another thing is accessibility. So when you apply for the school, for the participants, you are asked, can you pay? And then for your trip, once you get to Ghana, everything will be covered, but you have to at least commit and pay to come. And there's an interesting story where we got a participant first time. She said she heard about COESSING. She's from Liberia. And then she reached out to me and then she said, I'm coming by bus. It takes 3 days to get to Ghana, but I want to come. And it was so inspiring. And she came and then 3 days to go back and she's still reaching out to us and all she has is praise for COESSING. So even though it's travel costs might be expensive, you have people actually coming and these people do not come just once, they keep coming every year. Every year when you put out the application, you see a lot of returning COESSING people and few new ones. And now the new ones are even becoming more. When it comes to lab and field training now, because we go to the lab, there's also a gap there. But again, we have in the University of Ghana, we have a course appropriate technology. So we use appropriate ways to teach. So you saw some people in the lab, we can convert classrooms so far as we have the equipment. And the good thing is that sometimes the equipment are left for us to continue with the work. So as I said, these are not really challenges, but these are opportunities that we've been able to harness, and then that helps us grow. Now, our successes are a lot, but I just want to, Brian told you about almost 1,000 alumni that we've had from the program these past 10 years. And he mentioned some names. So the people with this is kente cloth. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the Brian, the originator, Brian with Joseph. And then for 10 years, Richmond, Brian, when Eben, and then Joseph. For 10 years consistently, they've been part of COESSING. So at COESSING, at 10, even though Joseph was part of the organizing committee, he did not know about this. So we surprised them all with this just to remember and then to keep fighting for us. And this is Richmond. He has a very loud voice. He's here. Plastic punch. He's always punching plastics and he's doing very well in the field, getting a lot of awards and telling us about the importance of the plastics, the magnitude of the problem and how we should handle it. Again, the project tracks are doing very well. So, and it doesn't even stop there. This has led to some publications. So 2023, 2024, we had some publications, about 4 or 5 of them, and it's everybody involved. So it also gives visibility because this is not just, it's an academic work also. So there has to be something to show for it. So we have publications to show our impact and how we are doing. So to conclude with, COESSING is here to stay and is expanding. And so far as the ocean is connecting us, COESSING is also here to link us, to learn, to share, and then to make the experience better. So 10 years, we are hoping 10 years is not there. It's just the beginning. So we'll be celebrating COESSING at 20, at 50, at 100, and then when some of us are not there, I know that we have a lot to continue for us. So thank you very much. And I hand it over to you, Gabriel.
Thank you very much, Eunice, for that insightful presentation. It's great to see how you moved since the inception in 2015, the University of Lagos and the University of Ghana, and also to see the way by which you ensure that underrepresented demographies, for example, ensuring that girls also participate. So it's very great to hear that. For the participants, if you have questions to our panelists, you can use the Q&A section or the chat function. Please leave your questions there. We are going to have time for questions. We are having our next presentation from Mariam about COISWIO. Please, Mariam.
Yeah, sorry. So I think before she presents, I can launch the second poll just quickly for a few, seconds, if that is fine. Yeah.
I don't know, should they go on?
All right, so we have 2 questions. Please respond to the polls. And so have you participated in the past COESSING? And then feel free to use the chat box to tell us about any priority topic or course you would like to be included in the future summer schools. So if you have a specific course or topic that you think has been overlooked or should be added, please feel free to tell us in the chat. I'm very much hoping that we'll have a little time at the end to maybe have an interactive session if possible. All right, please respond to the polls again. Just pretty much one question to. So yeah, most of our respondents actually haven't participated in the past COESSING. And I'm pretty much hoping, just like them, that we would have them in the next or future COESSINGs. Great, we still have some people responding. So in the next 30 seconds, we can end the post. Please respond. good to see. So from Ngozi, I started as a participant and I am now an instructor and LOC. So that is very amazing. I'm pretty sure there are also a number of participants now who would become instructors in the next few years. So yes, we can end the post now.
Okay. Oh,
Thank you. Good day. Mariam, please.
Yeah, all right.
yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, ECOP Africa. I'm also an ECOP member. My name is Dr. Mariam Swale. I am based at the Technical University of Mombasa, and excited to share about our experience with the Coastal Ocean and Environment School in the Western Indian Ocean. It happened between 21st to 27th September 2025 in Mombasa. And our university, Technical University of Mombasa, was a partner institute. So these are all the partner organizations, and the funding came from NSF with support from University of Michigan, with the Western Indian Ocean School. In 2025, we had three local institutes that were supporting the program. Our university, Technical University of Mombasa, One University, Kenya Marine and Fisheries. We had support from OTGA, Ocean Teachers, ECOP, Early Career Ocean Professionals, as well as the WIOMSA, Western Indian Ocean Marine Science Association. So this year, the first COISWIO program was started majorly initially it was meant to be in Kenya, but then we, as an organizing committee, we decided to expand it to the whole of WIO region. Our target was early career professionals, students, any practitioner in the space of marine sciences. And then it was intentionally done before WIOMSA conference, because some of our participants were coming for the WIOMSA conference here in Mombasa, and it was also endorsed under WIOMSA. So a little bit history about the school. So Professor Brian had a discussion with Professor Munga from Technical University of Mombasa. For those who are in Kenya, probably know Professor Munga. He's a fisheries professor. So to organize a summer school in Kenya, but because most of the work that we do in the Western Indian Ocean is a collaborative effort between the other countries in the Western Indian Ocean. For those people who don't know, the Western Indian Ocean is all the way from the Horn of Africa in Somalia down to South Africa. So all of these countries were involved in the summer school in 2025. So this means the reach was bigger, and also hopefully the impact is going to be bigger, including island states like Madagascar. These were also part of our summer school in 2025. So initially we had 812 applicants, and we could only pick 75 students. It was quite overwhelming, considering it was our very first time hosting the school, very first Coastal Ocean and Environment School. We had 24 instructors from within the Western Indian Ocean region, but also globally. Some came from as far as the USA and Canada. So we also had a 20-member support team from the local institutes. So it was quite a big team, considering there were so many activities. In general, everyone included, it was a team of members from 17 countries globally. This school is very important, especially for the Western Indian Ocean region, because of the challenges of biodiversity loss, food security, the issues of livelihoods. These were all captured in the summer school, with the need to capacity build, exchange knowledge, and collaborate. So this school had 4 main objectives: to train and empower the early career scientists, to provide hands-on experience, as well as to foster partnership and collaboration. But also, most importantly, to bridge science, policy, and practice. So if you notice throughout the presentation, there's going to be pictures from the different, just snapshots of the different activities that were happening during our summer school here in Kenya. So this, the structure of our summer school, it included lectures and classroom sessions, which were happening at Technical University of Mombasa. We had field activities, like in some of the pictures, like the first one here. This was the Fisheries group. They went to work with the community. There was community, there was conservation, there was marine ecosystem. Like, so they were filled depending on the different thematic areas. Then apart from that, there was data collection and analysis in the lab. Lastly, students had to present their work. I think you can see our moderator Gabriel there in class. So we had 5 project tracks last year. Physical and chemical oceanography. I was the lead instructor for the physical and chemical oceanography. Those physical and chemical processes, ecological survey techniques. This was led by Gabriel. Those fisheries and aquaculture and post-harvest loss, which was led by Professor Munga, and marine plastics and pollution was led by Professor Mutuku from Technical University of Mombasa. So I tried to pick pictures that will represent the different areas. As you can see, it was not only just learning in class. There were sessions you had to go to the field. But the people of post-harvest and value addition had to go in the kitchen and add value to the fish that they collected. So we had selected specific study sites. We had the North Coast and the South Coast. Key locations included the Mombasa Beach, Gazi Bay, Diani Beach, and estuaries on the northern side of Kenya. Then we had, because the intention was to see how to link the real world issues, the real issues that are affecting coastal communities, and how we can train these students to try and solve them. So it was not all learning. So there were some colorful events, very nice opening ceremony, showcasing the coastal culture here in Kenya, as well as having representations from representatives, the heads of different institutes that were part of the COESSIO, giving a word of encouragement to the participants, as well as supporting this new event, or this new, the summer school. Apart from that, our summer school was featured in several media sources. We have, this was in the People's Daily newspaper. You can read about it. It was featured there because this summer school it's not about science. It also touches on the blue economy, because we cannot separate blue economy from the science. Science supports blue economy. So this was very well featured in this article. Apart from that, we were also live on Citizen TV, because blue economy is a key part of Kenya. We have our whole ministry focused on blue economy. And one other thing, that year, we had very key events happening here in Mombasa, like the WIOMSA conference. And this year, we're going to have our Oceans conference happening here in Kenya. So this shows that there's that interest of this space here in Kenya. So it was not all merry and happy. There was some challenges, obviously, travel restrictions for some of our instructors from from America and Canada. They could not go to certain places in Kenya because of travel restrictions. So we had to think quickly to look for new places to do our field work. Sometimes field work can be unpredictable. Equipment may not, experiments could not work out, and there were some delays sometimes. But also all of this really gave us good lessons on how teamwork and problem solving as well as resilience can make us, when you're passionate and ambitious about what you want to do, everything goes well, regardless of whatever problems you have. So I've put some links for our Instagram pages and our TikTok pages. You can go and look at the stories, look at the pictures, this year we're planning the summer school in Tanzania, and we'll be excited to see most of you in the summer school in Tanzania. Because remember, ours is a coastal ocean environment school for the Western Indian Ocean, meaning it will rotate to every country in the Western Indian Ocean. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Miriam. That is very great to see the activities that took place during the last year's COESSING activity. And yeah, thanks to the panelists for the great presentations. We have, insights of what has been going on. And from what Godey mentioned or told us is we more or less have a 50% of those who have attended COESSIO and COESSING activities, and we also have those who have not attended who are looking forward to attending the future activities. So we hope that you have insights of what is about, what has been taking place, and what to look out for in the future activities. So we have about 25 minutes of discussion. We are going to have questions for the panelists. They are still here. Feel free. We are going to respond to your questions if there are any. You can use the Q&A session or the chat function to be able to write your questions. And to the panelists, we'll just go around. Sometimes I can recommend a panelist to answer, or any of you who has got something to add, feel free. We have got our first question in the Q&A chat function asking, how does one register for COESSING? Or if I can reframe it, how is the registration or attending process? How do you shortlist, or how is the call made, and how can one get involved? Brian, you'd want to go for it.
Hi, yeah, thanks for that question. So for both the one in West Africa, the COESSING, and the one in East Africa, COISWIO, we have an application that comes out. And so the COESSING one, there's a link to it on our website. The application is not ready yet for this year, but it will go up on the website, and we'll send it around to our email lists and, anyone else who promotes it. So you have to apply. And as mentioned, we are getting many more applications than we have spots for, unfortunately. I wish we had a lot more money, then we could take more people, but we're limited by that. But in any case, there's applications in both cases. Yeah, we did. As Mariam said, last year for Kenya, our first year, we had 800 applications for 75 slots. So I really wish we had a lot more money and could take more people. Yeah. I don't know if Mariam or Eunice or Gabriel was involved in COISWIO. Any of them could add to that if they want.
Yeah. Mariam, you want to add something? Maybe just to add that, yeah, so the process, we make calls, and then I think it's distributed to different websites and social media channels of different institutions and our partners. And then some of them could have guidelines on the target audience, because we have a wide range of professionals, but we are more or less targeting ocean professionals early career scientists, also students, and then if you meet the criteria, then you're able to get selected. And then there are also a few questions that also enables us narrow down to the candidates. For example, it depends on the strength of your motivation and aspects like this through which then we are able to select the candidates. So you can look out. The calls are going to be there for both the Tanzanian and the one in Nigeria, and then you can apply at this particular when there are calls. Thank you. Yeah, there was also another question from Unyime in the chat. She's asking, does potential instructors also pass through the same application process? Maybe Eunice, if you want to go for this.
Oh, okay. So for the instructors, yes, an application is also it goes out, and then you are free to apply, and then again based on the strength of your application. And for instructors, because COESSING so far, I don't know if that will change, but COESSING either funds fully or gives some allocation for your travel costs if you are outside the country. And so that one, it regulates that a little bit. So it's not everybody who applies and is able to get in on the instructor page. But then and it's the same for the participants. So again, you look out for when we post the application period, and then you can apply. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I think that is a clear answer. Thanks, Mariam. I've seen your message that you're traveling and you might have internet breakage at some point. So we appreciate your participation in the panel, and we look forward to future engagement.
Can I just add real quick on the
yes,
question?
Brian.
So
yes.
Just adding to what Eunice said, yeah, we are getting a lot of applications to be instructors, particularly for the West African schools. So we're actually probably going to start having to turn down instructors as well as participants. Yeah. And I suppose the same might happen in East Africa eventually. Right now, we don't have as many applications to be instructors there, but that will probably change as people get to know about it.
Thank you for that addition. I hope it answers the same question that Miranda was asking in the Q&A session. She's wondering how one becomes an instructor, whether there are minimum educational requirements. Brian?
Well, again, yeah, we have people apply, and we don't really have a minimum educational requirements. I mean, because I'm an academic and many others involved are as well, like Eunice, we do tend to have a lot of instructors that also have PhDs, but they don't all have. Richmond, you might say, is a practitioner. He's out in the field trying to clean up plastic. So some of our instructors are, not don't have PhDs or other advanced degrees. So it kind of just depends. Either you're a scientist in a lab and you're doing that kind of work, or maybe you're out in the field doing advocacy like Richmond trying to clean up plastic. There has to be some kind of qualification to be an instructor. Do you want to add anything, Eunice?
I think that is it. So it cuts across. Again, it depends on your statement, how strong your statement of application is, and then we can take or reject. Thank you.
Thank you. Salum is asking when Tanzania COIS will be conducted. I think it will be from 20th to 26th of September, and the applications should come somewhere in April or May for the participants to join. I think for the instructors, it's going to be somewhere in March that the applications are going to open for that.
Similar question for Nigeria from Titus. So the one in Nigeria will be August 10 to 14 in Calabar. And we're working on the application for instructors right now so that we'll get the instructors chosen soon and then the participants comes after that. I wish we did these things a little bit more in advance, but maybe one thing that's worth mentioning is that the organizers, it's kind of a volunteer situation. You know, we have a small amount of money for stipends for all the time people spend, but it really is not enough for all the time spent. And even myself, like all the years we've run it, I've not paid myself all just a little tiny bit. So well, the only reason I bring this up is just that because for the most part, people are not getting paid to do this, and we have other things we have to do. I think that's part of the reason, you know, you might say, oh, why don't you have the application out a year in advance? Well, I just told you the reason. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Now, tying to the aspect that Eunice talked about, especially enhancing representation among, the different demographies, I think it was well mentioned that you evaluate and check where you need to, pick a 50-50% for women and men, for example. There's also the other aspect of indigenous knowledge, for example, community participation. How do you ensure that this is included, even though they might sometimes not meet the education requirements that you might have in the calls?
Okay, thank you very much for bringing this up. So in last year's application, we had very interesting applicants. One was from the Ghana Fenugie Owners Association. And this is a practicing person. And he said he was interested in the fisheries science. So we admitted, so we make room. And we had two ladies who were coming from a journalism background, which we thought was also very interesting. So we gave admission. So we do that. So we go through everything. And then these peculiar cases we will take. But unfortunately, you give them admission and then they do not turn up. So sometimes those are some of the challenges. But we actually look for such instances and then we review and then we take. Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting to know here because it's normally a big topic about indigenous knowledge. I would imagine that sometimes when there is field work, then some of the community initiatives are the places where you take the student. So community conservation persons can also explain whatever they do to the students. So I hope this is also another mechanism that they are involved in. And then
Yes.
tying to what you just mentioned about participation. So sometimes people apply, you give them chance, and then you have to plan with whoever said yes, they're going to turn up, and in the long run they don't appear, or they give you very late responses of declining. How do you manage this, Brian?
So that is always a tough one. So usually we give a deadline to confirm and we keep checking. And then we have a sort of a backup list. But usually what happens is that if it's very late, then it goes to the country where it's taking place. So last year, for example, if we gave you and then a week to the event, you said you couldn't come, then you have to look for someone in Ghana who is available to come. And so that is how it happens. And sometimes once you send out the emails, those you cannot admit, you get a lot of email feedback. Brian used to handle that and it was too much. So now he made us do that. So you get a lot of feedback. And so for some people, we had someone from Nigeria who said, even if it's a day's notice, I'll come. And I was surprised that indeed it was like 2 days notice. And he said, I'm ready. I'll just join the bus and come. And so we always give room for those who would drop off, and then we look to our standby list to fill such spots.
Yeah, great. Good to know. It's normally problem that I see a number of programs talk about, especially when it comes to, shortlisting and having to onboard participants. Brian, do you want to add something? You can see you nodding.
No, I think Eunice said it well. I mean, we've thought about things like maybe asking people to put a small down payment, like so that and actually saying if you don't come, then you don't get the down payment back. But then people say, oh, but we're working in Africa where people don't have a lot of money, so we've never done that. Maybe I shouldn't have even mentioned that we have this idea, but it is something that's been mentioned, yeah. Because it
Thanks.
is disappointing, like
Yeah.
when you get 5 to 10 times as many applications as spots, and then people are admitted, and then 1 week before they say we can't come, that means there's other people that, missed out on the opportunities. So we really do struggle with how to handle this. I don't know if either of my colleagues want to add more, but it is a big issue. Although I don't want to, we don't get that many people. I mean, that it's probably, you know, 3 or 4 people a year that do that accept, and then at the very last minute they can't come. So it's not like it's many people doing that. But even for those three, it just, oh, what do we do? Can we, yeah. Like Eunice said, the easiest thing to do is just say right there locally, since it's last minute, can we just find a student at University of Ghana can just join us because they're right there, something like that.
Yeah. And yeah, so I think Eunice mentioned it, and you also had it in your presentation about some of the challenges, one of them including finances. For now, you mentioned that there are confirmed funds for last year and this year, but then going forward, how would you see tackling the aspect of finances to be able to fund future trainings? Or because there is already increasing demand from the, complementing and the increasing summer schools that have been there. So how do you envision resource mobilization for the future summer schools?
Yeah, that's a really big question. So right now, the West Africa School is funded by Schmidt Sciences, but only through 2028. That's not that far away. So we already have to start thinking about what we do in the future. East Africa, it's even more, imminent that we don't have funds past this year. So, well, I think in East Africa, as Gabriel knows, because he's part of that team, I think we're going to really try to band together as a region, the West Indian Ocean region, East Africa will try to work as a region, and like, there's a need for this. Can we have rotating schools amongst the different countries in that region and just try to find a donor who's willing to support it? For West Africa, like Eunice said, we hope we can continue it. We have the Schmidt funds for now. I'm personally hoping that the Schmidt people will see the value of the school, that they might continue funding it. The investment they've made in the research is much larger than the school. And so to keep the school going is a relatively cheap thing for foundations that have a lot of money. So I guess my best hope is maybe Schmidt will be interested in both schools. For the other regions that we're moving into, there's a little bit more money locally. So the Indonesian one, there is a center in Indonesia that has money to run summer schools. So, and that money happens, in that case, happens to come from the government of Korea. So I hope in that case that basically the funding will just come from that center, and then we just run a school, and then I don't have to worry about the funding as much. And it's kind of a similar situation in the Pacific Islands. There already is a pot of money to do things there. And so we might be able to go there and run schools without me personally having to raise money, which would be really nice. Because the raising money is just always a big effort. I don't know if I really answered your question very well. It's something I think about all the time. There's
Yeah.
no easy answers, but cooperation is a good thing. So the Western Indian Ocean people they already have this WIOMSA, Western Indian Ocean Marine Science Organization. For sure, we'll be cooperating with them to raise funds. the West Africans, I think it would be really great if they formed something like WIOMSA. And I know that Eunice knows some of her colleagues are trying to do things like that. If you had an organization for the whole West African region, I think that's would be a really good thing because it's like here's a bunch of countries that want to cooperate and then raise money for things like this and other related efforts. I don't know if you want to say anything, Eunice, to my suggestion.
No, I think it's a brilliant one, and I think it's something that is worth pursuing so that we can't always rely on donor funds. We also have to, since it has come to stay, we also have to welcome it as our baby and then help it. So I think that's a very good suggestion. So we'll work with that,
Yeah.
and hopefully something very positive will come out of it.
Yeah, people in West Africa have seen WIOMSA in East Africa / Western Indian Ocean, and they see they should do something similar. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it is interesting, the point that Eunice just mentioned, that you know, taking it as our own, and just still on the same, Eunice, from your observation, taking COESSING as a case study, do you think there is acceptance and goodwill from the local organizations, for example, governments, or the governance of the region? Because from what I had, most of the funding has been from the global north. So do you think there is acceptance that apart from the students who are direct beneficiaries through training, there is also acceptance and goodwill from the other institutions and the governments?
Okay, so to some extent, yes. So we keep getting increasing number of people from government agencies and ministries applying for this. And what I think we have not done is to follow up and then go to those institutions personally and then talk to them. But we have people from industry who are a very core part of this. And they've accepted, they understand this, and they keep applying and they keep coming. So I think the good thing would be to follow it up and then form a kind of collaboration with these institutions so that we can explore that for potential funding. But they appreciate the program. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's great to know because it is part and parcel of continuity and sustainability, such that we are able to keep going as a region. Or yeah. I'm wondering, good day. We didn't quite see the results of the second poll, but then maybe we would be interested in seeing some of the topics that participants think we can include in the future summer schools. I don't know if you still have the poll results around and if you can project them. Good day.
All right, sorry. So you can hear me now.
Yes.
All right. So yes, we have more on data analysis, stroke coastal ocean modeling. We have science and policy of plastics. There is science communication there. There is ocean modeling and networking, or yeah, model and networking. They want to see Python group. That's interesting. Then there is the ocean acidification and measurement. A couple of people also mentioned restoration, the ocean carbon, and uh, something on accounting, acidification. Yeah, so those were a few, yeah, networking and communication. I think perhaps some people, I would say some people are quite interested in the social sciences, aspect of the ocean. I think I am also someone who shares into that because I was there and I saw it was there was a lot of technical aspects and it was very scientific, but it was my take from the program, from the event, that I concluded I think this is more of a very scientific program. So I I mean I think many people like me who are into policy and governance and stuff like that and capacity building would be quite interested also in the social sciences aspect. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the polls, the poll results that you've shared, and also that great comment on the social, ocean sciences. I think that you're right that most of it was in the technical sciences and data and field work and experimental aspects. I don't know, Eunice, do you want to comment on that?
Yes, that's traditionally how it's been. It's more in the traditional sciences, and so that is why, as I said earlier, we were so interested in the journalists who wanted to be a part of, because we are also learning. And so and one of the things is communication. We sit in the lab, we do all that. How to communicate becomes a challenge. So that is where, so with Gode and everybody, that is where you have to come on board and help us to shape that arena, because everything that we are doing has to be said and be communicated. So since you are here, maybe it could be one of the, we started with just classroom, now we've gone into, we have 5 different, could be one of the tracks just to help us out with those things. So we'll come to you for help with those details. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think, you were addressed well. We can work with the experts who come in these fields, and then we develop project tracks or topics around these aspects as well. Great. We are heading towards the end. I'm wondering if our experts have got final comments. Eunice, I'll start with you, and then Brian before we close down.
So thank you very much for this opportunity and for listening to us. As I said, COESSING is just starting. It's 10 years, but it's just starting. And listening to what has been discussed today and just talking about the social sciences, it tells you that we are not there yet. We are still learning. And so we look forward to more collaboration and opportunities. And so thank you for inviting us, and then for the participants, thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for your insights. Brian.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot for the opportunity to talk to this group. Of course, the ECOP group is a perfect group to talk to about this because, we're trying to develop capacity and networking, and those are things that community, the ECOP community, is particularly interested in. So I appreciate the chance to talk here. Maybe I'll also just mention briefly that, one of the people who's on this call, Ngozi Ogugwa, she's a frequent contributor to our program, member of the local organizing committee when we're in Nigeria, things like that. And she's one of the chairs of the Ocean Sciences meetings. So the Ocean Sciences meeting is one of the biggest meetings of oceanographers in the world. She will be I think there's a chair from each of the 3 sponsoring organizations, and she's the chair from one called ASLO. I think I have that right. Anyway, so, here's someone who's on this call who's from Nigeria and, attended our school in 2018, and now she's the chair of the biggest ocean conference in the world. So it shows that, networking, you can come to our school and meet people like that. In fact, Ngozi often talks about the importance of networking at our school. So I'm just saying this to go back to the question that was raised. Here's things that should be in the school. Some of the things that were mentioned, we do have a little bit. We do cover Python, and Ngozi talks about networking at our schools. So it's just great to see all these contacts,
Yeah. Thank you once again for the great initiative, for spearheading this and for the great conversation that we've had, the presentation. the answers to the questions. We believe that, yeah, it's going to be a great initiative in the decade and beyond. And to our participants, I also want to take this opportunity to thank you for your time, for the questions, and we hope that we are going to keep networking as we enhance ocean science and ocean conservation in the region and beyond. With that, I think we are on time. Good day. I'll give you a chance to comment on Neha's question. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, thank you all very much. This was very insightful, and I'm very happy, especially that towards the end, we were able to, we the social scientists were able to, contribute. And I hope it shapes the program again, because now I also felt there were quite, or there are now so many, we are transitioning to the community-led initiatives. We want to make sure that for whatever we want the ocean to work for the ocean and to the ocean to work for us, we are moving towards that. We want to make sure our initiatives are community-led, or the community gets to properly understand whatever initiatives or solutions we are trying to put across. So it is very important, again, that we incorporate the social sciences aspect, and perhaps have I mean, I am a blue economy professional and enthusiast, so it would be really maybe nice to have a working group on the blue economy, where we'll talk more about the social and the economic, the socio-economic aspect, or have a group, that would really focus on that and how we can bridge the gap between the technical and traditional sciences, and then the social aspects, policy, and all of that. So that would be my comment and recommendation or suggestion. And again, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone for joining. This is COESSING. We are looking forward to the next edition. I mean, a couple of my team were there last year, and I'm very much hoping that this year I would officially be there, even though last year I wasn't officially invited, but I took part anyways. Yeah, we are looking forward to this year's and next year's to come. Again, this is the ECOP program, so the Early Career Ocean Professionals program. Feel free to also follow COESSING and follow the ECOP program, because we have more webinars coming in for you. Even this evening, there is a webinar. There are so many webinars happening here. We host several webinars, and then there are over 60 regional and country nodes. So there is ECOP Netherlands, ECOP Colombia, ECOP China, ECOP Canada, ECOP Belgium. When it comes to Africa, we have ECOP East Africa, West Africa, all which a couple of us have been part and have been contributing to. So feel free to join. Feel free to also approach me if you want to start a country, a national node. Have been privileged to be part of the co-founders of ECOP Netherlands and contributed to ECOP Chile and the like, so we can also work together to form some national nodes if there is none already existing in your country. Thank you again to everyone, and I am saying bye-bye, good luck, and see you at COESSING 2026.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks again for having us.